Hi there, it's Brett Culp. When I look at my calendar, it wasn't that long ago that we were together and I was honored to be a keynote speaker at last year's event for the Florida Municipal Communicators Association. On my calendar, it wasn't that long ago, but in my mind and in my heart, man, it feels like so long ago. I feel like the last month we've lived through an entire decade. Just because of everything that's happened, man, it feels overwhelming. And you have been on my mind with everything that has been going on, how it affects your communities, and the charge that you have to communicate and share ideas and events and announcements with your community here in Florida. Man, you've been on my mind. I've been thinking about you. And I want to today take just a couple of minutes and share some thoughts and ideas that I hope will be helpful as you, as leaders, move ahead through this crisis with your communities. But before I do that, before I get into that, I wanted to say this. I want to acknowledge that this is such a difficult time, and it's very possible that these events and how much they are affecting us in every part of our lives, that it's affecting you at a deep, deep part of yourself, in your heart, in your spirit, in a way that you've never experienced before. You may find that you're in the shower and you're all of a sudden crying and you didn't expect that. That you're having emotional outbursts of fear, of anger with your family, with your kids, with your coworkers that you never expected, never had before. You may be having trouble sleeping. You may be waking up with your jaw clenched and your fists clenched. During this time, there may be levels of stress and anxiety and at a level and a constant level that you've just never experienced before. And, you know, someone like me, I can take a break from the news, but in your roles, you can't. I mean, you have to be in touch with everything that's going on in your community, in your world, in very real time. And that's got to be heavy. I just want to acknowledge that if you're feeling that grief, that weightiness right now, it's okay. It's okay. It doesn't mean there's something wrong with you. It means you're human. It means you're human. You are carrying the weight of, in many ways, so many people, your whole community, and you're processing that. For those of us that are more sensitive and empathetic, this is a very difficult time. And I just want to say it's okay. It's all right. You know, I hope that all of us, that we all get through this with our physical health in a good place. But when I think about you, I also hope that you get through this time with your mental and emotional health in a good place as well. You know, all these feelings, I hope you're finding a place to put them and talk about them and process them in an open and honest and authentic way. Because if you bottle them up, it'll hurt you deep down. And so I hope you're taking care of yourself in every way, because we need you today, but we will continue to need you and your leadership and your light in the world ahead, in the days ahead. So please take care of yourself, my friends. Okay, now let me talk through a couple of things that may be helpful during this time. First, I think this is a time where we need to celebrate everything we can. Even the small victories are worthy of celebration. We do that very easily with little kids. You know, the first time they eat broccoli, every first word that they say is a party. We have a big celebration. And if you missed it, man, you missed out. You know, as we get to be grown-ups, we sort of lose that sense of wonder and awe for the little things. But now is a time where I think we need to return to that, where we need to honor and celebrate even the small victories going on in our families and in our professional worlds and in our communities. And I think the reason is this. With everything going on in our world right now, we're overwhelmed. We are having to learn things so quickly and so fast. And man, it just feels overwhelming to us. If you're a parent, you're having to figure out how to work from home and do things virtually while you also manage your child's education, parent them, all the food. You're having to figure out whether you should go to the grocery store or have the groceries delivered, whether you should wipe off everything that comes into the house with Clorox wipes. You're thinking about your friends and family and parents and family members that are older or more vulnerable, and what do we need to do to take care of them and make sure they have everything that they need. My goodness, it's overwhelming. There is so much going on in our minds, and it makes things that a month ago were easy, were no big deal. It means that we have to show more courage, more commitment, more energy, and we have to have more focus to get even those simple things done. And so they're worthy of celebration. It's worthwhile to stop at the end of every day and acknowledge all the victories you won, even the little ones. That's a sense of gratitude that we all need right now, to acknowledge the good and to feel that even though we may have made mistakes and not done things perfectly, because right now I don't think any of us are doing anything as perfectly as we were a month ago. I think we have to give ourselves a little room for that. But I think to stop and acknowledge that in yourself is important, and also to acknowledge that in everyone around you. To celebrate the little victories in your family, the little victories with your coworkers and teams, the little victories in your community. The time when you see people come together in unexpected ways that are beautiful, to make a positive impact and to lift up your community in a positive way. Even though they can't come together physically right now, the ways they're helping each other through this time, it's important to create space to celebrate those stories and log them for later or for today so that you can share them with your community and encourage them. Now, I think this is also a time where we need to stay ready and be open to giant leaps and bold steps. We love for things to change incrementally, slowly over time, but this isn't a moment for that. We have had a shock to the system, and we need to be ready to announce and share and make plans that are bold, that are giant, that are big. And even though sometimes those things are going to be unpopular and you're going to get blowback, you have to stay focused on the long term, not the short term, and do the things that you know are important. Believing and knowing in your heart that long-term positive innovations will even come out of that. We all long to return to normal as quickly as possible, but there are things about what we're doing that are a new normal that may stay this way for a very long time, and that's okay. And as leaders and communicators, it's important for you to embrace that sense of change and to be able to share it with others. Now, I think also this is a time to focus not just on the short term, but on your epic journey, the long story that your work is telling, that your life is telling in the world right now. When we were together, I ended the presentation with the idea of Starlight. That when you look up at the night sky and see those beautiful stars in the heavens, the reality is that the light you're seeing takes years, decades, sometimes centuries before it arrives here where we can see it and be inspired by it in the night sky. That has always been the nature of your work. You were always in it for the long haul. It was never about a single moment, a single quarter, even a single year. It was always about the long term. But now, more than ever, my friend, you are Starlight. You are Starlight. Shining through the darkness, surrounded by unknowns, sometimes feeling that you will never arrive. But when you do, how beautiful it is. This is a moment where we need your light in this world more than ever. We need your confidence, your strength, your boldness to shine through. And so, my friends, thanks for being a hero. Thanks for being you.